the standard that we hold ourselves to is really important every single day, because we got to expect a lot from ourselves. And if I may, I think about the world that we're in today. So often it's about, I think, stealing pain. It's about soothing the pain. It's about making sure that we feather the fall. We don't want to get hurt because our emotions are too sensitive. And what is that really preparing us for? Have you heard of the saying where hard times make strong men make good times make weak men make hard times?
Yeah.
And I feel like right now we have a lot of weakness, and we have to create synthetic struggle oftentimes. But we can't avoid struggle. And struggle is not bad. I think that a lot of times we think, oh, geez, it's more of a pain, or it's too hard, or whatever. I'm like, no, that's good. Like, hard is good, because you learn from hard. You learn how to, you can theoretically read about, people that have struggled in their life and go, yeah, one day, if I'm in that position, I would totally do that. It's like, really?
Yeah.
Maybe, maybe not. But if you're not prepared for it, then how do you know? So, yeah, if you don't have struggle in your life, create it. Go study something that's really difficult. Go get a job that's like totally out of the realm of what you would normally do, and see if you can do it.
Yeah.
Right? Go commit to running a marathon. If the furthest you've ever run is a mile, right? You can do it if you want. So how do you live a life like that? And you have to set high standards for that. But I'm like, man, if you're blessed with one life, one shot, and today was your last day, why would you ever not just leave it all out there?
Yeah, put it all out on the court.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. I read this this guy, there's all these people that always send these messages out. One of them that I read every day, it always starts with, today is the most important day of your life.
That's impactful.
I know, and I read that every day. I'm like, that's awesome.
Well, that's like a glass of water in the face,
it
dude.
totally is, yeah.
You wake up and you're like, oh, I'm going to go through the motions. I'll go to work. I'll do what I need to do. But if it's the most important day of your life, what would you do? What would you do differently?
Well, and so think, if you approached your everyday like that, I just think that you would think totally differently. But so many people are just doing the motions, and they're going, man, one day when?
Yeah.
One day when I get here, or one day when I get this, or one day when I'm in this position, then I will.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, you gotta do that now.
Yeah.
Right?
100%. I was just thinking about I'll do this when.
Yeah.
Because I think this actually happens really often, maybe like guys in regards to dating.
Yeah.
It happens a lot. I've seen it so many times. It's like you might have a friend and they're like, I'm not really looking for something right now until like this happens. Until I get a better job, or until I get to a new city, or until I get in the gym.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, life is today.
Yeah.
Like nothing's going to change by you moving to a new city.
Yeah.
The problems follow you.
Yeah. Right. Right. And you're right. I mean, it's have you heard of this this comparison of cows and buffaloes in a storm?
No, I've never heard this one.
So cows, storm, let's say in Colorado, right? We've got the Front Range and the mountains, and the storms come from the west going east, right? Over the mountains, and they almost always flow that way. So you see the clouds run over the mountains, the storm is coming. The cows tend to run away from the storm.
Okay.
Right? And that seems like the smart thing to do. I'm going to run away from it. But what are you doing? The rain starts catching you, and then you elongate the storm.
Yep.
And you keep trying to run away from it, but it's
And
just
it
catching
keeps
up.
coming after you.
Whereas the buffaloes go, storms come, and they run into it, and they close the gap, right? And they meet the storm head on. They go, let's go, right? And then they get through it, and then they become stronger and better for it.
Yeah.
So I think I use that as a metaphor for my life. I'm like, if the storm is there, if the challenge is there, just lean into it, right? And go, all right, don't be afraid of it, right? And courage is not the absence of fear, it's acting in light of it.
Yep.
So just have courage and go, okay, cool, I can be scared. That's okay.
Yeah.
But I sure as heck I'm not going to learn anything unless I do something. So easier said than done, but courage is a habit.
Courage is a habit, and it's something that can't be faked.
Can't be faked, no.
Because everyone feels fear.
Yeah.
The only difference between the courageous person and the non-courageous one is acting in face of the fear.
Totally.
Can't
Love
be
it,
faked.
man.
Impossible.
Yeah, love that. And it's amazing that, like, knowing that at your age right now is going to serve you so well in your life.
Hope so, man.
It will, I promise.
I hope so.
I promise.
I was curious about, you mentioned that the thing that plagued you was you always felt average.
Yeah.
And something that I found in my life is that a lot of times I'll overcome a problem or an insecurity.
Yeah.
And it comes back in a sneakier way. Does that ever come back for you?
You know, I love what you're saying. You know, we're not infallible to feelings and emotions getting the better of us. None of us are. In fact, I don't think life is about avoiding those things. I think it's about closing the gap, right? So we get knocked down every day. You know, name it. There's stuff that's happened today. Some of it's a little bit more of a knockdown than others, and some of it's like little minor things. But what I've learned is that the most successful people in this world are not the ones that stay knocked down. They're the ones that get back up quick and they get going again. They keep taking action and moving forward. And so what you got to teach yourself is not about avoiding the fall, but about creating the habit of saying, how can I get up and get going quickly?
Yeah.
And the only way that you can do that is, one, I think it's important that you change your physiology. So if you, like, let's say you're sitting at a desk and you get a bad phone call, right? Somebody was agreeing to do something with you, let's say in your business, and then they change their mind. Okay, that could be hard, right? What are you gonna do about it? Like, cry about it? Nobody cares. So stand up, go outside, maybe take a deep breath, fresh air, come back in and go, all right, what are two things that I can do, two positives that I can get, two actions that I can take to now negate the one negative so I'm still +1. So I've created this habit of saying, if I get a no, I'm going to go find two yeses. Relentless forward momentum, right? 2 steps forward, 1 step back, but I'm still positive. You will not defeat me. You just can't, because I will always go get one more win than the one that you took away. And so I'm still +1. And I just have this in my head. I'm like, you will not win. Nothing you do will take me down. You can come at me all you want, but I'm always going to keep fighting. And what I think a lot of people do in this life is they get the no and they sit in it. They're like, oh my gosh, what does this mean? And then they start getting into story. See, I'm not good enough. I can't do this.
Yeah.
Look at the guys or the gals down the hall. She's always getting the deal and I'm not. Maybe I should just change my job. Maybe I should change my career. I knew I was never going to be good as this. Those people that are doing really well, they're the ones that had the best market or the best ideas or the best language or the best suits or the best haircut or whatever. And I don't have those things.
Yeah.
Therefore, I'm not.
They always have something you don't have.
And I'm not worthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they always have something better than me. And then you get into the story that you're telling yourself. And then you go, you know what? I got an idea. I'm going to go home. I'm going to sleep this off. Then I'll come back tomorrow. I'll be prepared. I'll be energized. But then I come back tomorrow and I'm like, man, I'm still feeling like garbage. I wonder why. And then they start thinking about that again. You start reinforcing that garbage story that you said in your head about how you're not good enough. And you get stuck in this pattern. And then that pattern keeps feeding on itself. And then you manifest that into your reality.
Yep.
And I think that's what happens to so many people in life. They're poor storytellers. You know, everything happens twice, once in your head and then once in reality. And so how do you tell yourself a good story? You make it a habit of finding success.